In the heart of the village of Koko, nestled amidst the sweeping plains of Nigeria, there lived a charismatic preacher named Pastor Joseph. With his booming voice and magnetic presence, he captivated the hearts of the villagers with promises of divine miracles and supernatural healings. Born into humble beginnings, Pastor Joseph had always possessed a burning passion for spreading the word of God. From a young age, he felt called to ministry, and as he grew older, his fervor only intensified. With unwavering determination and a gift for oratory, he soon gained a following in the village, drawing crowds with his captivating sermons and promises of salvation. As Pastor Joseph's ministry began to gain momentum, he caught the attention of the villagers with his claims of miraculous healings and supernatural interventions. People flocked to his services, eager to witness the power of God firsthand and to experience the touch of divine grace. Among Pastor Joseph's devout followers was Esther, a young woman of remarkable strength and resilience. Born into a modest family in the village, she had always possessed a fiery spirit and a deep love for God. From a young age, Esther was drawn to the teachings of Pastor Joseph, finding solace and inspiration in his charismatic sermons. As she grew older, Esther became more involved in Pastor Joseph's ministry, eagerly volunteering her time and talents to support the work of the church. She was known for her compassionate heart and unwavering faith, serving as a beacon of hope and encouragement to those around her. Alongside Esther was David, a man of quiet strength and unwavering faith. Born into a family of devout believers, he had always felt a deep connection to God and a sense of purpose in serving others. From a young age, David had been drawn to Pastor Joseph's charismatic sermons, finding inspiration and guidance in his words. One day, an old friend from another church, Mark, paid him a visit. Mark had always been charming and persuasive, and he came bearing tales of grandeur and success from his own ministry. He regaled Pastor Joseph with stories of packed auditoriums and miraculous healings, all achieved through flashy displays of signs and wonders. Intrigued and inspired, Pastor Joseph found himself drawn to the idea of expanding his own church in a similar fashion. Mark's words echoed in his mind, stirring a longing for a larger congregation and a desire to witness the extraordinary firsthand. Ignoring the gentle warnings of his faithful follower, David, Pastor Joseph embarked on a quest for miracles. But beneath the surface, David watched with a heavy heart as the core teachings of the gospel were overshadowed by sensationalism and spectacle. He devoted himself to seeking out the spectacular, chasing after signs and wonders with fervent zeal. The once simple sermons became elaborate performances, filled with promises of divine intervention and miraculous healings. But as Pastor Joseph's influence grew, so too did his insatiable appetite for power and wealth. He lived in a lavish mansion on the outskirts of the village, drove a fleet of luxury cars, and indulged in all manner of opulent pleasures, all funded by the generous donations of his devoted followers. Unknown to the villagers, Pastor Joseph's supposed miracles were nothing more than carefully orchestrated illusions, pre-planned and staged to deceive the unsuspecting masses. He paid actors to feign illnesses and disabilities, only to miraculously recover under his ministrations, much to the awe and adulation of the congregation. But Pastor Joseph's deceit did not stop there. His lust for more earthly things even grew far much worse. He preyed upon vulnerable women, using his position of authority to coerce them into sinful relationships. Many fell victim to his charms, their lives forever changed by his manipulative ways. He indulged in adulterous affairs with vulnerable women from the village, preying upon their naivety and desperation for companionship. Among his victims was Aisha, a young widow whose husband had perished in a tragic farming accident. Lonely and grief-stricken, she found solace in the comforting words of Pastor Joseph, unaware of the darkness that lurked behind his charismatic facade. Under the guise of spiritual counseling, Pastor Joseph seduced Aisha, promising her love and companionship in exchange for her silence. But when Aisha fell pregnant with his child, Pastor Joseph forced her to undergo a dangerous abortion, carelessly discarding the evidence of his sin. As Pastor Joseph's fame and wealth grew, so too did his influence within the village. Politicians and dignitaries came to bow at his feet, seeking his endorsement and support in exchange for favors and influence. He became a powerful figure in the community, his word carrying weight and authority among the villagers. But beneath the facade of power and prestige lay a man consumed by greed and lust, willing to deceive and manipulate for his own selfish gain. One evening, after a particularly extravagant service, David approached Pastor Joseph with a solemn expression. "Pastor," he began, his voice tinged with concern, "I fear we have strayed from the true path. Our focus on miracles has led us away from the essence of Christ's teachings." But Pastor Joseph, caught up in the fervor of his newfound success, brushed aside David's words with a dismissive wave. "Miracles are proof of God's power," he insisted, his eyes alight with fervent conviction. "Surely, they are the key to spreading his word far and wide." Undeterred by David's warnings, Pastor Joseph continued to chase after signs and wonders, oblivious to the growing discord within his congregation. But as the months passed, cracks began to appear in the facade of his ministry. The flashy displays of miracles failed to bring about lasting change, and disillusionment spread among the once devoted followers. As whispers of scandal began to spread throughout the village, Esther and David found themselves grappling with the crisis of faith. Determined to uncover the truth, they embarked on a journey of spiritual discernment, seeking guidance from the Word of God and the wisdom of their fellow believers. Along the way, they forged deep connections with kindred spirits, united in their commitment to seeking truth and justice in the face of adversity.
Our purpose extends beyond storytelling. It includes guiding believers to adhere faithfully to the Word of God, avoiding the allure of worldly displays of signs and wonders. If you were in the shoes of Esther, David, or Aisha, how would you navigate your faith? If you like this story, kindly click on subscribe and like buttons below. You can also comment below and what story you would like us to highlight next.